Elaine wasn't feeling well this weekend, and so anyway, I just say that up top. We're not actually going into another song right now. But let's take this time to spiritually align together, to get into whatever your comfortable prayer position is. And I invite you to use those words that Nick was just singing to us and inviting us to sing along with. God is in me. God is in this room, right here where we are. God is in my actions. God is my power that keeps me going, moving forward, making decisions, acting on those decisions, finding joy, experiencing joy. And I affirm that that is what today will be for us in all our various ways that may be expressed as our individual expressions. For we are each individual expressions of God in action. We carry that forward. We call this service good in advance and give thanks for that. We let it be well, we let it be so, and so it is, and amen. And now I invite you to stand if you wish and sing along as Nick leads us in the call to worship song.
So Chris, just mind the volume on my guitar. It's in every one of us to be wise. Find your heart, open up both your eyes. We can all know everything without ever knowing why. It's in every one of us by and by. It's in every one of us. I just remembered, it's like I've been sleeping for years. I'm not awake as I can be, but my seeing is better. I can see through the tears, and I'm realizing that I bought this ticket and only watching half of the show. But there are scenery and lights and a cast of thousands who all know what I know, and it's good that it's so. It's in every one of us to be wise. Find your heart, open up both your eyes. We can all know everything without ever knowing why. It's in every one of us by and by. It's in every one of us by and by.
Good morning and welcome home. I'm going to ask you all to repeat after me. If you're watching us virtually, please type this in the comments. Everyone look around at your neighbors and repeat after me. Good morning. I love you this morning. And I sure do appreciate you being here this morning. To our virtual church family, please know that we are saying this to you as well. Help us grow our loving community by commenting, sharing, subscribing, and liking to our pages. Now, if you please join me in saying our April affirmations together. My power of wisdom gives me unique insight when making my best decisions. I have the power and intuition to spring forth with new ideas and new life. Today's daily word, I pray for others. As I pray, I affirm the activity of God in your life and mine. I am honored by the trust of those who ask me to pray with them. Whatever I am asked to pray about, my responsibility is always the same: to recognize all qualities of God are active, even in the most challenging circumstances. I remain steadfast, affirming this truth. If I have been asked to pray for healing, I release all thoughts of illness. I affirm divine life is active in every cell. I see harmony and perfect function restored. If I am praying for abundance, I entertain no thought of lack. I affirm divine wisdom, love, and understanding, guiding the one with who I pray to make wise, prospering choices. As I affirm the truth for all who have asked for prayer, my awareness of God's activity in my life also increases. Beloved, I pray that all may go well with you and that you may be in good health, just as it is well with your soul. 3 John 1:2. And now, as Wally mentioned earlier, our special music's changed a little, and Reverend Wally is going to be our first special musician today. And you've been, did you get your total thing now?
No, we're working on it.
We're still working on it,
Yeah,
okay.
we're working
I thought I heard something a little different.
Yeah, no, we've been approved. I've been approved for the Unity ministerial license, but that'll happen in, well, recommended, I think, is the term they would prefer. I approve of me, that's all that matters. Soon I'll be Reverend Wally. Thank you, Nana. All right, let's sing a little Garth Brooks. This song's been around for a while. If you know it, sing along. A dream is like a river, ever changing as it flows, and a dreamer's just a vessel that must follow where it goes, trying to learn from what's behind you and never knowing what's in store. Makes each day a constant battle just to stay between the shores. And I will sail my vessel till the river runs dry, like a bird upon the wind. These waters are my sky, I'll never reach my destination if I never try. So I will sail my vessel till the river runs dry. Too many times we stand aside and let the waters slip away, to what we put off till tomorrow has now become today. So don't you sit upon the shorelines and say you're satisfied. Choose to chance the rapids and dare to dance the tide. will sail my vessel till the river runs dry. Like a bird upon the winds, these waters are my sky. I'll never reach my destination if I never try. So I will sail my vessel till the river runs dry. There's bound to be rough waters, and I know I'll take some falls. With the good Lord as my captain, I can make it through it all. Yes, I will sail my vessel till the river runs dry. Like a bird upon the wind, these waters are my sky. I'll never reach my destination if I never try. So I will sail my vessel till the river runs dry. Yes, I will sail my vessel till the river runs dry. Till the river runs dry.
Thank you, Wally. Great song, never heard it before, but very good lyrics. I am the prayer chaplain today. I see Nana is here. I will ask her to bring up the prayer box. Our chaplain team is happy and willing to pray with you. I see at least 3 of us here, Anita, Charlotte, and myself. Look for us after the service. To be included in the prayer request, you can, if you're here, certainly use the prayer box, which is on its way up. You can also go to the website and fill out a form, actually a link on the website, another way to make a prayer request. Thank you, Nana, our honorary prayer chaplain here today and every day that we're here. So prayer is the process of aligning ourselves with a higher power, shifting our focus, and allowing us to attract the best of life. So we begin now by relaxing, being mindful of the body. Just as you breathe, notice that breath relaxing you deeper. Bringing all the attention in. We center ourselves in focusing on the field of the heart, the field of love. Willing to see, to hear, and to feel the presence of Spirit within us. I invite you to think of a situation or people that you would like to send love to envision differently. What is possible in that situation? What is for the highest and best? We also include the prayers from this box, knowing the power of agreement, of our combined attention, that it can work miracles. And we add these following names and their intentions also. Liz Armstrong, Bo Terrain, Sarah Henning. We know the presence is active in every situation. The universe is always supporting us. We deny the appearance of challenges as they are temporary, and we claim the right to create, to be aware of joy in the midst of grief, to accept what is without judgment, and focusing on what will be with our imagination and with grace. We are willing to imagine everyone is healed, as healthy, as they are led to support the innate healing of the body, allowing the soul's blueprint of perfection to manifest. We feel the physical and the energy bodies of every person glowing brighter, innate healing returning, each to pristine function and to boundless energy. the power of life that runs through our bodies, the insights of wisdom and love guide our choices. We are willing to see and feel our intentions from this place of it has already happened, as if it is here and now. And so we call forth divine guidance in each day with faith and zeal for what is on its way. We are inspired to choose wisely, forgiving ourselves and others for any missteps. The presence is raising us up, quieting the minds, opening the hearts, calling forth our understanding of life, that we grow closer and closer to the Spirit of Christ within each of us. For these and all of our intentions, we say, thank you, God. Amen. And thank you, Nana. So we will move into a meditation. Perhaps we should have done that first, as Charlotte does, but I followed the script today. Just looking for a timer. So meditation is the process of training the mind to listen, to notice our inner wisdom, and this is our time to practice. So if you were to set an intention for today, what would it be for you now? Reflect on that. And then just let it go. Noticing the breath, completely relaxing you deeper each time you exhale. We breathe in and breathe out. Let all thoughts simply float away until thought ceases to exist. It is pure awareness. Simply breathe. And when a thought arises, simply return your focus to the breath. Gently, simply noticing without effort. I am one with Spirit. I am one with all that is. I am part of universal consciousness. Begin to notice your body. And as I count to 3, you will awaken fully relaxed, at peace, feeling healthy and vigorous, and better than before. 1, 2, 3. And we're back. Please welcome Reverend Wally White.
Thank you, thank you. I'm back again, up here. Good morning again, everybody. All right. So today, what I wanted to look at is, we're doing a different spiritual prosperity book each quarter. And so for this quarter, we're working with a book called Working with the Law, written by Raymond Holliwell. And just as like a basic introduction to that, it's the way that he describes what law is that law is God working in our lives. So that God principle, others may say spirit, may say universe, may say whatever term that you want to use, that it's that in action in our lives, and that we're working with it in partnership, that it's never working us is key to know, because if you feel like you're being worked, and I mean, we've all probably felt that at some point or another, it's like, that's the time to stop and take a breath, maybe sit down and do one of these meditations to kind of get yourself centered, because the power has been given to us. We have that free will that I bring up all the time, because it's one of the most powerful gifts we have and one of the trickiest gifts we have. Because, see, if you really accept the free will part of the God power that we each all have, then you don't get to say, when something doesn't go your way, well, I guess it just wasn't God's will. Well, if you're acknowledging you're God and you're acknowledging that you're the one that's currently given up, then I guess that you're correct, right? So it's like we just don't get it both ways on that. Like, we have to, this is about us accepting our power, not then saying, oh, well, I'm all powerful and I declare this and it has to be just because I said it. That's true, but we've all walked life up till the moment we said that. And we've said other things that we plant. And see, every time you say stuff and every time you think stuff, you plant seeds for those manifestations. Now, that doesn't mean you have to eat the whole garden of everything you planted. You get to say, oh, I didn't even know I planted that one. I don't want that one. I don't even like that stuff. You get to then say, never mind, and put it away, right? But it helps us in acknowledging what we're manifesting in our lives, so that we can say, oh, I want to be a more intentional gardener. I want to be a more intentional harvester of what I want, right? There's a little spot in my yard that has no grass because I had a tree stump ground last year, and I'm debating. I'm like, I want those German Johnson tomatoes. Can I grow them, though? Or should I just keep finding a market that sells them, And I'm like, well, I've got this spot, but so we'll see if I want to garden that or not. I'm giving time to think about it is the point. Like, it doesn't really matter whether I grow tomatoes in my house or not. But what it means is, I'm like, all right, do I want to do this? If I want to do this, how can I do this most successfully? Researching what's good to plant around with this, because I also kind of want some blueberry bushes. And I'm like, well, is it wise to plant the blueberry bushes near the tomatoes or not? So I hopped on Google, and it says marigolds or something that are really good to plant around tomatoes, and so didn't mention blueberries. Now, does that mean I can't do it? No, I may do it because I really want some blueberries that I don't have to pay for, that are just there. But I also don't want to grow tomatoes and blueberries for all the squirrels that are in my yard, So it's like, all right, well, now the next thought and this is how we do whatever the thing is. It's always good to use an example of something that really doesn't matter, because then it helps you release the resistance, right? You release the resistance to well, I can't do that. Well, that's too big for me. Well, I don't know how to do that. Well, I'm not qualified to do that. See, if you're thinking about something that doesn't even matter, well, it doesn't matter whether you're qualified or not. You can just try, because if it doesn't work out, And if we can get to the on what otherwise seems like the really big things, because it's not that we're saying the big things have to not matter to matter, right? We're saying it when it matters so much that you're trying, the trying is the indication to ourselves that we don't really believe we can do it. So no matter how much marching forward we're doing, our thoughts are planting the seeds of, this is not going to work out. And as long as you believe it, that's what you get to receive, right? So the chapters in the whole book, like just the titles so that you know what laws Mr. Holliwell covers in his book, are the laws of thinking, supply, action, attraction, receiving, increase, compensation, non-resistance, forgiveness, sacrifice, obedience, and success. Those are all different laws to look at. And so it's a great book. I highly recommend you all get a copy of it. You can get it from like abebooks.com or betterworldbooks.com. They sell used copies of them for like usually like $3 to $6 or something. But if you're just like, I am not going to read another book, if you'll listen to another book, there's an audio version of it on YouTube that's broken down by chapter, so you could listen to it that way if you want. And if you don't want to do that, if you'll just give an hour to join us on Zoom, we're going to talk about 4 chapters at a time. So we already talked about the first 4 chapters. So the second Wednesday of May, whatever that date is, we'll be doing, let me see which, count out the 4. I meant to underline this. So we'll be looking at the laws of increase, compensation, non-resistance. I might 1, 2, 3, 4. And forgiveness. Yeah, that's what we'll look at the second Wednesday of May. But what I wanted to look at more today is the very first chapter of the book, which is just called Working the Law, which means it's yours to work. It's yours to like work it with experience where you have that, and work it in playtime of like, let's see what happens with this, you know. Like, have you all ever tried the I'm going to manifest a great parking space on Christmas Eve at the mall? Because I have, and I parked right up front, while other people just went ahead and drove to the back. And you know what? If you drive, I've parked back there too, but I was like, you know what? I have not exercised today. I have no plans of exercising today. So let me at least get this extra walk in and call this the best parking space for me today, because now I get that, right? But, like, I'm telling you, if you've never worked that, is any of you have not worked that before? So if you've never tried it, just if you're downtown Greensboro, it's difficult to find parking there. Wherever there's is like just known, it's impossible to park there. First, give up impossible anything, and then suddenly realize if you got to stick a apostrophe in there, but you turn impossible into I'm possible, right? So all things are possible, right? So try that sometime for yourself, just to understand, like, because what it's doing. See, there's no magic trick. This is not Bewitched, even though that's one of my favorite TV shows. This is not Bewitched, like a car's not disappearing that used to be there to give you the space. What it's doing is lighting up your attention so that you can see something that when you're not expecting to see it, you would otherwise have driven right past that space. Space, still there, because it's not magic. But when you allow yourself to turn your attention to it, expecting it to be so, you can see things that you otherwise wouldn't be able to see. How many of you have lost something, a key, an earring, a whatever, that you've looked for, and when you find it, you know you've looked in that exact spot multiple times, right? But when you were looking in I cannot find this, well, then that's what has to be true for you in the moment. I cannot find this. You're welcome, right? That you don't get it right now, right? I've had those times where I'm like, I gotta leave. I cannot find the keys. I don't know why the keys aren't right where they're supposed to be. And then I'm like, I can panic and run around the house, or I can stop and be like, and I use the term father a lot because I picked that up from Della. It doesn't mean I think God's an old man sitting on a cloud, right? But it's just one of the many words you can use. And I'll be like, now, Father, you know I need these keys, so I need you to tell me exactly where they are. And I'm going to sit here for a minute, and I need you to let me know. And then I'll almost immediately, multiple times, like I'll have a picture of the last time I used them. And I'm like, oh, well, I'm not even in the right room, right? And then there they are. And it's like, why are my keys sitting on the refrigerator? Why are my keys in the freezer? No, but, right? So it's like, wherever they are, it doesn't matter why in that moment. Like, this is not the time to dissect, well, why did I choose to do this? Do you care, or do you want to go where you thought you were in a rush to go? Right? So, again, taking that, it doesn't really matter, and then delving into well, why isn't this thing that's really important to me not happening? What have I done wrong? Who cares? Just like, what can I do right now? And it's not to say that there's not importance when you've got some time in reflection of like, let me take a moment to kind of dig into what choices I made that were being my block, so that I can help recognize that a little faster next time. But if you spend all your time like digging up in the background, it's kind of like planting a seed and then digging it back up to see how the growing's going. Well, you just killed it, So anyway, a few things that are in the book that I wanted to look at was like that there are plenty of bad experiences that we can all point out. The question then comes into, are you going to claim being a victim of those circumstances, or are you going to claim your power to overcome it? Right? So last Sunday, I told you all before I left, I was on my way to a funeral in Mount Airy for a man who I'd been the ring bearer, even though I said pallbearer at the time, who I'd been a ring bearer in his and my cousin's wedding when I was 7, right? Now, I go get lunch, and now on my way out, I should tell you, my brother had rotator cuff surgery a week ago Wednesday. And so as I'm leaving here on my way to lunch, I called to check to see how he was doing. And he didn't feel good. And my sister-in-law said, well, his chest is bothering him a little bit. I'm going to go call his doctor. So I go on to lunch. And as Ellie and I are finishing lunch, I get a text from my nephew. This is like 30 minutes later. Dad's having a heart attack. We're on our way to Cone. And I was like, is he really? So I call my nephew. They're working on it. I'm like, okay, well, I'm going to go on to Mount Airy, and then I'll come back to the hospital. And now I'm driving. I'm in Winston. I'm on my way to Mount Airy. And then suddenly it's like, dude, what are you doing right now? Because he said the EKG said he's having a heart attack. Not he's having chest. He's having a heart attack. And I'm going on to Mount Airy. And at first I'm like, well, dude, you're not a doctor. You can't, like, the best you can do is pray for him, and you can do that in this car driving forward towards this other event where you're trying to respect family as much as you can turn around, But then once I had that thought, then I allowed but what if, what if something really bad happens to him? Well, he may need you right now. Well, I'm trying to support, Sam, and, well, Sam is already dead, and your brother is not yet, but he may be on his way to. You may, right? And so I called my friend, Reverend Sherry James. She's a minister at Up Church in L.A. I said, you got a minute to help get me spiritually aligned? She said, I was getting ready to go out the door, but let me stop. Who are you about to kill? So, see, that's what my friends think of me. So I'm like, nobody, like, I'm trying to get and then she helped give me the prayer of all the words that I'd probably say to any of you if you called to help me pray. But in that moment, once I'd allowed the negative chatter to get there, I couldn't get to acknowledging God is in the ambulance, God is in the doctors, God is in the check-in person, God is, right? So nothing you are doing is going to change that truth. So then I was able to do both. By the way, my brother didn't have a heart attack. His artery was having a spasm. I didn't even know that was a thing, but it was, and then that made all the things think that there was a heart attack. So he's fine. He's home. But it's in those moments. I'm like, am I going to allow the victimness of this? My brother could have had the moment of, well, they're saying I'm having a heart attack, so I better have a heart attack. And, and it's like, and look, my mother had a heart attack. My father had a heart attack. My uncles had a heart attack. Like, there are lots of heart attacks in the family. So then the cousin's saying, well, he's a White and a Whitaker. So, and it's like, no, we're not owning heart attacks. We're going to own overcoming them. So see, he came close. Yeah, like the tests were saying it, but then he didn't own the heart attack either. He just was like, no, we're fine. We're getting to the other. And that's like, do you want to be a victim to? It's like, well, this test says this is what you're supposed to be having. You're going to match the test, or you're going to, and those are our opportunities in whatever our special things are that we're going through, that we want to overcome. That, like, there may be the really negative experience of the moment. Those are going to come. They're definitely going to come. The question is, what do we do with it when it shows up? Do we go all in on the negativity, or do we take a moment to say, I will not let this own me. I may have to walk through this. It may be a grief situation. You don't get to just toss that aside. You may have to walk through it, but you don't have to be owned by it. And at times, you're going to feel owned by some negative experience. You're not doing it wrong. You're having a human moment. And then you get to stop and say, yes, I'm having a human moment because I am a human being, except my real truth is I'm a spiritual being that gets to rule on top of that physical. So let me stop and recognize that for the moment. You know, an affirmation that we used to say every Sunday that I then used, and it works great if you turn on the pretty meditation music and set silent, but it also works great. I said it as I was walking a 3-mile hike going up the hill that the Hollywood sign's on, like climbing that, and I'm walking saying, I am one with God, I am one with all people, I am one with all life, I am one with the one because there is only one, and I'm part of that one, and God knows everything, so whatever I need to know is available to me. I may not know it at the moment's notice, but it's available to me. And if I can't look it up, if I don't get the inspiration of where to find it, Anita will say something that will make me think of it or say it. Or, you know, or somebody will, I accept that what I need to know is available to me instead of I can't find it. I don't know what it is. Why would I even know? You know, it's like, okay, congratulations. You've shut it down. Right? But congratulations when you decide you don't want it to stay shut down. You get to turn it back on. I was thinking with the lyrics of that song that I'll sell my vessel, like there's a great message of non-resistance, of like you can paddle upstream if you want. There may be occasions that there's something upstream you really, really want to connect to. Well, then that's what you got the arm muscles for, get to paddling, right? But most of the time, the saying is, like, turn and go downstream. It's a lovely ride, right? Now, that doesn't mean as you're riding along, you may see something off on the shore that you're like, well, I want that, and I just passed it. Oh, well, I guess it's not mine. It's like, no, stop, pull over, walk, do what you want to get to it, because we get to have that journey all the time on whatever our thing is. And there is no not important enough or too tough to get to, right? The really important stuff is really important, but if you can get there by accepting that it's already done in advance, as opposed to, well, this is hard, I don't know how to, those sorts of things. What Raymond Holliwell brings up in this chapter is in Genesis that in Genesis 1-3, it says, in the beginning, God created the heavens and the earth. Now, the earth was formless and empty. Well, how did he create it, right? Because it was created here first. And so he points out that it's like, and then the same thing with the plants and all. It had to be done in the mind first. That's true for us. Whatever it is that we want to purposely manifest in our lives, we think about it first. And the more power and positivity we give to those thoughts will help it come. Now, as we're thinking it, when it shows up, we may not immediately recognize it, because what showed up, the answer looks different than what we thought it was, because that consciousness, the collective consciousness really knows better than the single one. So it's like, oh no, I get the spirit of what you want, but you don't want it in this one. What here is the answer. Like the example of that is like, I see this man. That is the one I need. I need you to get that one. But see, you don't know that person, really. Like, you don't know. It's like, no, see, that one wouldn't work for you at all. Because once you got to the house and closed the door and they started throwing stuff around and not putting the stuff up, you'd invite them right on back out the door, right? Della used to say there was a man that she really, really wanted, and she was like, God, if you just please give me that man. I need that man. I need that man. Never got that man. Like 4 years later, she's walking out of a store. She bumps into him. He's a wreck, right? And as soon she says politely hello, and he goes, she said as soon as she got past him, she dropped to the ground and kissed the sidewalk, said, thank you so much for not giving me him. Because so it's never about no, I need this one. What I need is the spirit of what this is lighting up in me, whether that's, a relationship, whether that's the goods that we want, whether that's the experience that we want. It's the spirit of it. It's like, well, what about that is lighting me up? Let's get that going. If you turn into that part first, you'll get to the experience a lot faster than being like, no, it has to be, a 2023 Cadillac, Mercedes, whatever, and it has to be black. And it's like, well, but what about that navy blue one? No, it's not, right? So it's like allowing ourselves to meet the spirit of what we want is not only serving us best, it's what we get to do. It's what we have the power to do when we claim that power and then allow it to flow through us, to us, for us, and as us. And that is who we are and what we are. I love you, I bless you, I appreciate you, and I behold the Christ that is you. Thank you for being here today. So now is our time to give our love offerings and tithes, and I'm going to invite Pat Hauser up to talk to you about that. She's acting like it's a surprise, but it's on the calendar.
It was a surprise last month, not this month. In thinking of consciousness and mindset and all the things that are possible for us that can flow to us, think about what you might be doing to block the flow. And that flow that comes to you can go through you and serve other needs that are out there and benefits. And that flow is sometimes blocked when you don't allow the flow to continue from you yourselves. So I'm asking you to consider that in terms of how you support unity in Greensboro.
All right, and if you have your gifts with you, I invite you to give the energy towards the bags as they're going around. If you give electronically, like myself, and I know many do, I invite you to place your hands on your heart and let us say this prayer together. Divine love, through me, blesses and multiplies all that I have, all that I give, and all that I receive, and I am grateful. And let's do the short one, Chris. Sing along, if you will. Thank you, God, for everything. 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 And Rod will come up and bless our gifts.
Let us pray. We bless these tithes and love offerings knowing that they flow forward from place to place, blessing all they contact and contribute to. We bless this community, claiming prosperity of the members, that it grows in giant leaps as we practice and pray together. We envision that everyone here and everyone watching online is inspired by the music and the messages. They are filled with hope and promise of life, hope and belief in our internal power and in our connection with Spirit. We are filled with magnetic energy of love, attracting all good things that we have envisioned. We are inspired to see unity in life, inspired to look for our common values, and we create a unified vision that everyone wishes to share and to give to. Thank you, Honest, for the power of life and wisdom that fills this day and our ability to give to these communities and our community. Amen. Thank you, ushers. And we are welcoming back Bobby, our videographer, and not sure how many hats he's wearing today, but at least two.
Okay, thank you, Rod. If you're a first-time visitor or haven't been here in a long time and have received a welcome bag, please fill out the visitor connection card and give it to an usher so that we may stay connected. If you haven't received the bag, raise your hand and an usher will bring one to you. This Wednesday, Hypnosis, Breaking the Chains That Bind You with Ellie McFalls, April 26th at 6:30 p.m., Zoom only. And Trudy, you'd like to come up here and make an announcement.
Thank you, Bobby. Hi. This Friday, our social event will be game night, and it's going to be at my house. If you sign up in the back, there's a sign-up sheet, and right on top, it tells you everything you need to know. And folks who are new here, it's a great way to get to know us, to come to game night where we can socialize, because the way it works here, we're going to need to dismantle this and leave shortly. So it's a great way to socialize. For those of you virtually, my address is 1817 F-Land, that's E-F-L-A-N-D Drive. That's in the Kirkwood area of Greensboro, near Cone and Lawndale. And my phone number is... This is going to go on YouTube forever, just okay. My phone number is listed on the back. The best way to, I would suggest, is you take a picture of the sign-up sheet, because I put all the information on top. So I really want folks to come. I do have a small house, but we will make it work. I also need to tell you that I have a dog and a cat. The cat will hide. I do have a cat-free room if you're allergic. The dog will try to convince you that I'm a terrible mom, that I never feed him, I never give him affection, and that at 62 pounds, he's a lap dog. Just thought I'd tell you. Okay. Hope to see you there.
Thank you, Trudy. Okay, we are creating a new home team to prepare it in advance, since this building is listed for sale. So we would like a couple of congregants to join members from the board and prosperity team. Please see Pat Hauser if you are willing to join the team. Please check the table in the back for the sign-up sheets and other upcoming activities. For people online, you can go to the e-blast or the website. There's a link to contact us, or it's info@unityingreensboro.org, and Unity in Greensboro is all spelled out. And now we'll have special music performed by our own Anita Shaver this time. Oh, and Nick, too.
Nick's going to back us all up.
You're going to sing with the... Oh, okay.
Yeah. Hey, listen, have you ever been somewhere and someone got up and did a song and you're like, oh, I love that song, I want to sing along? This is that time, y'all. This is going to be a song you're going to know. I invite you to get up and dance and sing and everything. And I won't stop you if you decide to get out here in front of me. It'll be okay with me. Think about it. There must be higher love down in the heart of there must be higher love down in the heart and hidden in the stars above. Without it, life is wasted time. Look inside your heart and I'll look inside mine. Things look so daunting every day. In this whole world, what is fair? We walk blind and we try to see, falling behind in what could be. Bring me a higher love. Bring me a higher love. Oh, bring me a higher love. It's that higher love I've been thinking of. Well, the turning, and we're just hanging on, facing our fears and standing out there alone. A yearning, and it's real for me. There must be someone who's feeling for me. I could light a gun and break their soul on fire. I could make the sunshine from pure desire. Let me feel that love for me. Let me feel how strong it could be. Bring me a higher love. Bring me a higher love. Oh, bring me a higher love. It's that higher love I've been thinking of. Dance time. Everybody dance. Bring me a higher love. Bring me a higher love. Oh, bring me a higher love. Bring me a higher love. Oh, bring me a higher love. Bring me a higher love. Oh, bring me a higher love. It's that higher love I've been thinking of. Bring me a higher love. Bring me a higher love. Oh, bring me a higher love. It's that higher love I've been thinking of. Bring me a higher love. Bring me a higher love. Oh.
I love that. And the higher love is exactly what we're talking about. And so we bring that to ourselves constantly. We're talking to ourselves when we're like, bring me the higher love, right? So, all right, it's just one other thing. The activity that had been on the sheet back there for May was to go to a play that unfortunately had financial challenges and got canceled. But we're going to go to a movie that's actually being released this coming Friday, but we're going to wait and go for an early Saturday matinee on May 20th. It's a movie that I'm in. I went to the sneak preview to just make sure I hadn't gotten cut out, because it's just you are not going to want to go for me. You'll sit through a 2-hour movie for 60 seconds. But anyway, the movie's called, it's the Judy Blume book, Are You There, God? It's Me, Margaret, with Kathy Bates and Rachel McAdams. And I have a little tiny scene in it. I really went outside the box and playing a minister. And So anyway, we're going to go. There's a sign-up sheet for that. We won't know the exact time we're going to go until like the week of. And we've also learned, especially for weekend movies around here, you need to buy them several days in advance. So if you'll sign up back there, then Gayla will know who to reach out to. And if you're watching virtually, you can email the info at unityingreensboro.org for any of our activities information. All right, let's sing the peace song. Chris, you've got a track of it? Awesome. If you'd like to hold hands, do. If you'd rather not, you can just place your hands prayerfully in the air, and people will know not to touch you. To spiritually touch you, not. All right. All right. Let there be peace on earth, and let it begin with me. Let there be peace on earth, the peace that was meant to be, with God as creator, family all are we. Let us walk with each other in perfect harmony. Let peace begin with me. Let this be the moment now. With every step I take, let this be my joyous vow, to take each moment and live each moment in peace eternally. Let there be peace on earth, and let it begin with me. And together let us affirm, the light of God surrounds us, the love of God enfolds us, the power of God protects us, and the presence of God watches over us. Wherever we are, love is, peace is, light is, God is, and all is well. All right, have a good week on purpose. Next week, by the way, we're celebrating how unity changed people's lives, and the youth are going to be the musicians.